So, good day, guys. This is Christian. I welcome you to my very little YouTube channel, trying out a new mic device from my helmet to be able to do my video. So, today, again, since I have the new mic hooked up to my helmet, I can explain the very basic principles of the slow speed, low speed maneuvering. Again, it's not hard. You just have to keep practicing the same basic, which is the clutch in the friction zone, throttle, maintain, let's say on a Harley touring or any other bike in the Harley lineup, except I guess the Pan America. Stay between 1300 and 1500 RPM, about 5-6 pounds of rear brake pressure, and maintain this the whole time. I like to say also that you can do the same maneuvering slow speed. The rain doesn't affect at all the kind of maneuvering you can do, except painted lines. Obviously, they're a little bit more slippery. So if you do a tight move on a large painted thing on the pavement, yeah, it will reduce your traction. Manholes covers. Make sure when you do tight U-turns on the road, if you have a manhole cover, especially if when it's raining, if you start doing a tight maneuvering at slow speed, it might slip. And obviously, we all know it. Oil, sand. When it's raining, it kind of gets a little bit more oily. But other than that, regular pavement like that, no manhole covers. You can do the same thing in 2-3 inches of water. I've done it in past courses. Again, today I was watching a lot of the Sturgis videos, people walking their bike, trying to get out of the parking spot, uphill, trying to duck walk the bike up left or right to turn out of a parking spot, having a lot of struggles. So I will explain while I'm doing it. Might drop the bike. I don't know. Sometimes we still drop the bike when we try new maneuvering. So bear with me. I hope the audio is still good. Again, that's a tryout with my helmet. We'll not put the radio on, so I give more chances to the audio being good. So again, first gear, when you're stopped, you're always trying to be on your left foot. Right foot is already on the brake pedal with 5 to 6 pound rear brake pressure. So I'm ready to leave and put my feet straight up and have control of the whole bike. Even if it's uphill, sandy, I don't need to walk the bike anywhere. So let's say from that position, let's say I decide to go right, then I'm in first gear. My left foot is touching. My rear foot is 5 to 6 pound pressure. I find that friction zone, when the bike starts creeping forward, that's my friction zone. So I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to put a little bit of throttle, and as soon as I start going, there we go. And see what I did? I did a little mistake. I went forward because I saw some gravel, some rocks that I didn't clean before doing that. So let me do that again. Repeat. So same thing. First gear, friction zone as I'm leaving. And that's about it. So the whole time that I'm making these turns, my left hand never moves away from that friction zone. So muscle memory, I have it locked in that position as I'm going around. Oh yeah, other thing that I have already mentioned in other videos, but make sure you're sitting up straight, close to the gas tank as possible. If you can, almost mount the gas tank. But the whole time I'm doing that, I have about 5-6 pounds of pressure on the rear brake, and I'm not leaning the motorcycle too crazy right now. Just doing a quick demo. but the whole time nothing has changed. I don't know if you can hear my RPM, but I'm not revving through the roof. I'm keeping it to 40 to about 1500 right now. And my left hand is not moving at all. It's keeping on that. It's like a claw. If I guess I've never done kung fu, but it's a tiger claw kind of claw on my friction zone on my clutch, and it never moves from there, right? And that's all there is to it. So again, you can do the same things in 2 inches of water. Just make sure that you're not going over like large painted parts of the pavement as you're doing it. And also, manhole cover can be tricky when doing that kind of slow speed maneuvering. So just be aware of that. If you start making a U-turn in the downtown area, you might slip a little bit. You will regain traction if you keep calm. But yeah, same thing. When I stopped, my left foot came out, but my right foot was always ready to go. Even on a stop sign or a red light, that's how I stop because I'm ready to go quickly. If I see a car coming behind me and I know I have a little spot that I can squeeze between two cars, I look. As I'm looking, there's a car coming. I can make a decision quickly and get out of the way as I'm doing it. So again, that's another reason why you should and hopefully stop at a red light with your left foot down, your rear brake already engaged a little bit, holding you down, and in first gear. So again, if you see that car coming fast, you might see a rear collision happening. Even if you're locked, if you know your slow speed, you can actually get out of it and control where you want to go, which I just did. I just escaped out of the way. So I guess that's another reason to practice slow speed. Uh, with practice, depending how hard you push yourself, you're gonna drop the bike. You should be dropping. I shouldn't say should, but you're most likely be dropping the bike. So that's because you're pushing yourself, right? As you're doing it. Sometimes I do drop the bike. Right now I'm not pushing myself. I'm just explaining basics. But if you push yourself a little bit more, or you just have a little moment and you let go of the clutch a little bit too far, you might drop the bike. So that's part of it, right? So make sure you have guards, make sure you have something protecting you and the bike. So that's why I wear gloves in the parking lot, my helmet, like normal. Again, friction zone, a little bit of throttle. My foot is on the rear brake. I found the friction zone and I'm not letting it go. And just like that. And that's it. Again, I could talk about this all day, but this is all about practicing. Practice, practice, practice. Keep that left hand in the friction zone. Don't squeeze it. Don't let it go. The only time you let it go is if you feel that you lost power to the rear wheel and the bike is about to fall. Then you let go a little bit of the clutch, which will bring the power back to the rear wheel and put your bike right back up. And don't forget when you're doing that, uh, after a couple minutes, I don't know, 20 minutes, depending how hard you are in the clutch, go right out your bike so you can air out and get some wind into that clutch and transmission and engine. But again, that's all there is to it. Friction zone as I'm leaving. And it's like this for everything. You can use slow speed. Let's say here's something been seeing a lot on the, let's say, video of Sturgis. People making a slow turn left or right as they're in an intersection. They're scared of that slow speed. So instead of going around the corner 2 feet up and then maintaining a turn, what they do is they have the bike control them and they stick their feet out as they're doing a slow turn because there's too many pedestrians. So that's what I see is this. Not sure of their bike or their capacity. But again, your little leg for a 900-pound bike, if it starts falling, you're not going to hold it. It's going to go down. So make sure you control your bike and you know what you're doing. So just like that, and that lady just really wants to come to that parking lot here. I guess she's delivering some stuff. So I guess something to talk about also as that little SUV came is make sure you do your shoulder checks, especially in a crowd like Sturgis as you're moving. Make sure you do your shoulder checks behind you. Pedestrian, bicycle, other bikes. So as you're leaving, you should be checking before you make that U-turn, right? So I check, there's nothing, no bicycle, no pedestrian, and I'm leaving. Same thing, here's what it looks from behind. Shoulder check, there's no pedestrian, and there I go. So that's it. Again, leave comments if you want me to touch on, I guess, more stuff. I guess one thing we could touch before I leave is to keep the bike steady at almost stop. So that's the same principle, but what I do is I usually pump the brake as I'm doing it. So if I start like this and I try to go slow, I pump the rear brake as I'm trying. Hold on, I'll try that again. That didn't work. Guess it's camera stage fright. And I missed it again. See? Some days it goes good, some days it goes bad. But let's try that again. But it's all about pumping the rear brake as you're staying on it. It's like going on a bicycle, when you try to maintain this at a red light. And so that didn't work. So that's how we're gonna end this video. Again, it's all about practice, practice, practice. One other thing, I guess for safety reason, is try to get off and get on from the high side. For most of us uh, in North America, US and Canada and other countries, on the right. So if you get off on the right, you make sure that you're not getting off in traffic. Same thing if when you go to the fuel pump, you should park the bike on the high side with the fuel pump here, right, as you're getting off. So if you forget to put it on the kickstand, the bike will not fall on the pump, but will fall in the parking. And that is it I have for you. So thank you very much for listening, I guess, watching today. There's some days that you're gonna practice or you're gonna ride, you're gonna feel you get it more. Some days you're a little bit more rusty and it doesn't come as easy. So, but again, clutch, keep it there. Muscle memory, look at it in the friction zone when the bike starts creeping forward. Throttle 13, 14, 1500 RPM. You can do this on any bike. I went to try a bike 2 days ago. the R1200 RT BMW, and it's the same principle. So it's the same thing, except my res were a little bit higher as I was doing it, because obviously that bike has a higher revving red line. So I was a little bit more up. But other than that, if you have any question or something you would like to see more, comments below. Otherwise, have yourself a good weekend.